Hi, everybody. Welcome to the last few days of March and week 4, which is test week of our March teaching cycle. And before we begin, I'd like to welcome a few new students. We have Jackson Snyder, who's joining us in our Little Dragons program today. And tomorrow we'll have Rowan Williams coming to our Karate Kids class. And I'm really excited to have both of you in class, so welcome to you and your families. This is test week, which means that I'm testing the whole school again. And just remember that when we do testing, a portion of the school is testing for their new belt, and those are the students with the red test candidate stripe on their belt, and everybody else is testing for their green progress stripe. So this is the week where I quiz everybody and ask them to see what they remember and how they perform on all the material from day one, from their very first class up until today, on just kind of how they're doing with that. So it gives me feedback, it gives the students feedback so that we can feed forward into next week and improve on anything that we need to work on, and also to celebrate and feel good about the things that everybody has been learning and improving on. So that's what's going to be happening this week. If you are a belt test candidate, please turn in your test form, which should be signed if you're a young student by a school teacher, a parent, and then turned in to me for the new belt. So that is part of the requirements. And if you haven't got one of those, I have them at the school, and I will be sending a PDF file. You can download that at your leisure and print it out and bring it in whenever you need to do that. So we have two upcoming events. One is this Saturday, and which is our annual Easter egg hunt, and I talked about that last week. The big reminder on the Easter egg hunt is that there are no classes Saturday because we'll be in Left Hand Creek Park at the Easter egg hunt. So there will be nobody here teaching classes. We will be all at the Easter egg hunt and kind of the potluck brunch that we have after that. So if you come to the school on Saturday, it'll be closed. There'll be a sign on the door directing you to go to the Easter egg hunt. So if you really want to train, you could come to the Easter egg hunt, and maybe afterwards we can work out in the park. But that's where we're going to be this Saturday, which is the day before Easter. It's April 4th. So I hope to see you there. And remember to bring an Easter basket. We start at 10 sharp, and I will blow the whistle at 10. And that's when we go, and that's when all the eggs get collected. So if you're late, there may be nothing left. So please try to get there at least a few minutes on time. And if you need help, I will put a map to where Left Hand Creek Park is, which is in Creekside off of Pike Road, right by Prospect. But I'll send you a little map to that. So if you need to know that, you can have Google direct you to where it is. But that is this Saturday. And if you can't come to the Easter egg hunt, next Friday is my birthday bash / Nerf night. And that is a free event. Just bring a buddy to that. And that starts on Friday, April 10th. It'll go from 6 to 8 p.m. So bring your Nerf blasters. I have thousands of Nerf darts. That way you don't have to bring those or worry about those. Just bring, your Nerf darts, your Nerf, or not the darts, but the Nerf blaster. Eye protection, which is important. I have some extra ones, but they do tend to break, and I don't know how many I have left. But bring eye protection, the blaster, and of course bring a buddy. And I'll take care of the rest. We'll have a really good time on that. So I'll have a sign-up sheet on that posted today right next to the front counter. That's where I always put the sign-up sheets. There's that dedicated board. So you can put your name and your buddy's name on that list, so who's coming. And that is next Friday. So if you're keeping track of things in time, the next thing coming up is your Easter egg hunt on Saturday, and then after that is the Nerf night. So I'll just keep reminding you on how those go and when those events will come up. Our powerful word this month is one of the most important ones, which is discipline. And we've been talking to the students in the last week about certain aspects of discipline because people think that it's just about willpower and doing things, but there are a lot of factors that influence your level of discipline and can make you either more disciplined or less disciplined. And it helps to realize this. Otherwise, people internalize everything and think there's something wrong with themselves if they're not up to the discipline that they would like to have. And the environment is a very huge factor. One of the most important ones in developing discipline. And my teacher's teacher, Mr. Ed Parker, who created the Kempo system that I teach the kids and the adults, is when he outlined considerations for self-defense, he outlined about 8 or 9, considerations you should think about when you're learning self-defense. And his first one, which I remember when I was a kid, he was taught this, was environment, which he defined as everything on you, in you, and around you. So your mental and physical state, your emotional state, which is in you, whether or not you're ill or healthy, and then everything you're wearing, if you could use that to defend yourself, and then everything around you, which is how the things that are around you affect how you can move and defend yourself. So those were very important considerations, and he thought that was the most important one. So he started that. And when it comes to discipline, the environment or where you are is a question that I've been talking to the kids about of where they do their best work and where they do their worst work. And, having a dedicated space, a special place that you go to do whatever it is that you need to do is super important to keep up discipline. So, as an example, walking on to the training mat from the lobby, going through the doorway, stopping, bowing onto the mat, clearing your head, with your uniform on, so that's what's on you, going into that space and realizing that that is dedicated to doing one thing, which is to training your mind and your body before you finish, bow off, take off your uniform, and then go back to the rest of daily life is an important procedure. It's an important ritual. It's an important place that gives you the cues to act at your best. So having that is really important. And, the kickboxers even do this where they will come in and they go through the process and the ritual of wrapping their hands, getting ready to go. And they do the same thing. They get up to their bag, and then it's kind of like you switch this mental, you flip a mental switch of this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm going to do. And I personally do my best work at the library. So when I need to get something done, I go to the library with a single purpose, and I say, I'm going to do this for this amount of time. I get it done, and I come back. Sometimes if I'm at home, I'm sure you've experienced this, you have spouses, children, animals, deliveries, notifications, everything going on in the rest of your life that gets in the way of doing the one thing you want to do. So having a space, I'm fortunate to have a home office, so I can lock the door and keep everybody out and get work here done as well if I need to. And it just may be, for a child, it could be in their room, it could be at their desk. Just recognizing that and acknowledging that this is the place where I do this work and nothing else. And even if you have a phone that's distracting you all the time, you can set things up on your phone to, shut off the internet, shut off notifications, and you can set a timer for yourself saying, I need to do this, and you get the job done and you go back to doing what you're doing. So, knowing where you are is, again, for self-defense, it's super important to know what's around you, that environmental awareness, spatial awareness, and then moving through that space. So it helps a lot with, again, with your mental discipline and everything else. So, that's a good thing that if you have kids, to talk to them about of where they do their best work, how to help them set themselves up for success, and realize that they can engineer their environment and put things that help them be more disciplined in their environment. So they can put cues in their environment. They can put posters. They can put, that's why I like to have people have their uniforms and their belts and their certificates up on the wall, which I've had. And if you've seen that, I posted a picture of me in the Chicago Tribune newspaper way back when of all my belt certificates on my wall, or the belts and the certificates on my wall, because they were a constant reminder of when I was there, what I was moving toward. So again, one of the big, kind of advantages that you have is that you can change your own environment. So you can create it, and then you could use that time and again to walk into that space to increase your discipline and your child's discipline. Finally, I saw an interesting article, which I have seen time and again over the years, and I figured I'd share it with you. So last week, I saw an article about the professional NFL quarterback, Jackson Dart. If you don't follow football, he plays for the New York Giants. And so in the off season, while they're getting ready for their next year of football, he has enlisted the help of a martial arts expert to help him with his focus, with the specific idea that it would help him read defenses, feel attacks, see what he needs to use to focus on, and also to kind of block out while he's making his decisions and making his passes, so he can operate as that commander on the field much more effectively. And this is something that ever since I was a kid, I had heard, especially of professional football players, of taking martial arts classes and working with that specifically to get their mind and their emotions under control and to block out distractions and to be able to focus on what is necessary for them to then go back and excel at their sport. And I just think it's interesting that the people who are paid millions and millions of dollars to do this, they understand that the cross training benefits of martial arts, of course, the physical stuff of keeping the body in a state of what is called general physical preparedness, making sure that they have explosive power, they've got flexibility, they've got mobility. So the body's ready to participate in sports so they don't get injured and they excel, but also the mental and psychological benefits that we focus on that they take to their sports. And that is something that I did when I played baseball. The way I learned to focus was through martial arts. It was not through my baseball coach yelling at me to focus. It was my martial arts teacher taking me through specific exercises and drills to make sure I could focus, and that improved my performance dramatically. So, as maybe not so much as the adults, unless I know there's some people who play things like tennis and golf and badminton and stuff, it will help you. But with children and the young students, as they're learning to, go into sports seasons and do different things like that, is a reminder that, this is their secret weapon. Doing martial arts class, even if they take class once a week while they're doing something like they're really focused on another sport, is going to help them tremendously on and off the field. So I just like to remember that is that, the benefits of this, which is why I've been doing it for decades, it's over 40 years now, is because it helps everything. And again, I am an ongoing, continuing example of this because as I play tennis, these are all the things that I do in tennis when I'm playing tennis of the martial arts skills. When I snowboard, it's all the same things that I do to improve myself so I don't get hurt. And yes, I still go into the terrain park on my snowboard, and my ability to focus and to not get injured is thanks to my martial arts training. So just keep that in mind as kids go into different things, that this is the one thing that they should be doing to help them while they're doing that. So it's a tremendous benefit.